This is Does Your God Sleep? A research project exploring Nigerians' perspectives on fear, God, and the roles that fear and God play in society. In this episode, participants discussed how fear influences behavior and conduct in personal, social, and political contexts. The discussion went into the necessity, or lack thereof, of fear for survival, the evolution of boundaries, and the impact that fear has on community dynamics and leadership.
It's fluid in that there are those who would wield fear because, to be honest, it's the only thing that they have to control. The only way they can have any form of respect and or willpower is by using fear, dangling consequences or the illusions of certain rewards, and saying, if you don't do X, Y, Z, here are the outcomes. Society has boundaries, should have boundaries, and the evolution of humanity is such that these boundaries have changed over time. There's a period in time where certain clothes we wear now, people were being like, what? And the fear will be, I'm going to become a pariah in social circles.
Fear and shame go hand in hand.
Yeah.
When society is involved. Right. First off, you need to feel a certain type of way when you don't follow the construct that they've created for you to stay in, right? So as a woman, my answer for this is even there are times when we get up around 10:30 that it's going for the work. Like, wow, this guy
Must be
you don't know about it. The intent might not even be there with whoever it is that's walking in the opposite direction. But immediately you see vulnerability, it is triggered. And it's the way it is with society. Nigerians are always ready to defend themselves because we're always oppressed that we approach everything with suspicion that all this person is trying to take me for granted. So I have like a relative back to your books. Like we're always it's a constant state of fear of the next person, of the opposite sex. Like it's such a vicious cycle. A constant need for like survival. It's just ugly. That's just the truth.
I think one of the key elements with a thriving community is sort of an absence of fear, or you feel free to express yourself without, or say what you want to say without fear of repercussion. Not, and this is just of being the fear of thinking or saying things, not necessarily doing things, but having that freedom to feel supported like that eliminates your fear of being yourself. And then also community is quite essential in eliminating types of fear.
Because we're obviously not the most powerful beings that have ever crossed the universe. Actually, we're not sure, but we don't think we are. We're always going to be afraid. So I don't think it's ever going to go anywhere. And also because we can't control everything that comes by our way, I think we're always going to be afraid. Because there's always a part of life that we don't know. And not knowing is... I don't think anybody is not afraid of not knowing. But I feel fear is necessary. It's also why I think religion is necessary, even though I don't believe in it.
Okay, so to an extent, I feel like fear is there to put us in check. This is very, very necessary. It now depends on you. Either you control it or you let control it. Without fear, people will do all manner. If that fear is not, even with the fear, Some people have been able to cheat and they do a lot of bad things without even, they are not remorseful, you know. So, but at least majority of people still have that fear. So, just for them to be balanced, there's no fear, the ruthless killers.
What is the role of fear in your life? What does it do to obviously serve you?
No, it doesn't serve anything. It needs to never exist in my life as a matter of fact. No. Just it cripples me. Just not it's not a nice feeling. Doesn't teach me anything. Whatever it's teaching me, I can learn through less debilitating ways. So if I do XYZ, the law might catch up with me, that kind of thing will keep you from, if your instincts didn't keep you from doing it, then like fear of that should keep you from doing certain things. So I think that can be a good role for it. If you cannot self-regulate as a person, these things can be in place.
Fear also teaches you when you shouldn't do something that is potentially a threat to your life. So I see it as like a primary emotion that humans have to protect them. And sometimes, like, even if you don't know what's going on, fear can, like, there might be no apparent sign of danger per se, but you might feel fearful in a situation and helps you get out of that place before something happens. So I think fear is also a tool that we use to survive the world. Like, aside from government using it to control actions, we also use it as a tool to navigate this world of many unknowns.
Okay, the role of fear in my life, it just reminds me that as a human I have limits. I was reading something yesterday about it's not necessarily a pleasurable experience for things to physically grow and stretch out. So fear is sort of like part of your, I want to be in a place where I'm like, okay, I know I'm scared of this, so I'm going to tackle it head on. And it's just like you're trying to remove all the different fears you have, trying to get rid of them, seeing them as like areas of potential growth.
What do you think is the role of fear in society?
Generally limitational. Bringing people down, weighing them down, making it impossible to do so many things. Nigeria as a country now, Africa as a society, the fear of we can't do this. We can't have our own refinery. We can't maintain this. We need to listen to the slave masters to continue this, to achieve this. I think that's the fear.
Fear is very intertwined with politics and governance at, the base of a lot of societies is violence, is fear of being killed. For example, if you talk to anyone who went through the war in Nigeria, they, doesn't matter how, pro-evil they might be, like, yeah, no, doesn't matter, we don't want to do it again, like, versus, and you were younger, someone who didn't go through it, and like, they will be more willing to, fight for secession than somebody who went through it. So a lot of governments use fear to control their population, even something like NSARS, where people went out of their way to be as peaceful and unoffensive in their, make sure that there's nothing that you can say like, oh, these people are doing wrong, these people are doing wrong. But, Nigerian government still came down very hard and violently to give people a warning not to do it again, as in to instill that fear in them, like, don't try that again. You know what happened, even if,
We've come this far, like, using fear. There's nothing else for us to teach. Maybe we can evolve with technology. I hope we do evolve, but for now, I don't think there's any way else we can enforce laws or enforce living together, because we're so different. So I feel like laws and rules help us live together, and the only way people abide by those rules is through fear. It's the reason why I don't believe when people say Nigerians are Nigeria's problem. I feel like bad leadership is Nigeria's problem. And this is because there are no consequences for bad actions.
If you're listening to this and you'd love to share your own answers or thoughts on the questions, please, I'd love to hear from you. Write or record a VN and send to hello@studiostyles.org. I may do an episode of just listeners' thoughts, questions, feedback. Who knows? I don't know. It depends on whatever you will send to me at the end of the day.